In the dawn of time, right after humanity's first steps out of paradise, the very first family is born. But with them comes the first blood feud, a story of jealousy, of betrayal, and a choice that would literally stain the soil of this new world. This is the story of Cain and Abel.
So just picture this for a second, a raw, untamed earth. Adam and Eve, they're starting completely from scratch. They're facing the harsh realities of survival. And it's here, in this huge, lonely landscape, that the next chapter for all of us really begins.
And right from the jump, you can see the difference. You've got Cain, the firstborn. He's intense, a man of the earth, always got his hands in the dirt. Then there's Abel, the younger brother, who's more calm, a shepherd, totally connected to his flock. Two completely different paths, two very different souls, and you just know they're destined to collide.
All right, so before all the drama, there was just a family. Let's take a look at how this first generation got started in a world outside the garden walls. You know, that brief moment of peace before the storm hits.
So the family starts to grow. First, Cain is born. His mother Eve says he's a man obtained from the Lord. Then, a few years later, Abel comes along. And finally, their sister, Awan, arrives, and the small, pioneering household gets a little bigger. For a while, everything is good.
But you know, every rivalry has that one moment, that flashpoint. And for these brothers, it was a single act of divine judgment that would change everything, igniting a darkness that had been simmering under the surface for years.
Okay, so decades have passed, the brothers are grown men, and they're defined by their work. They come to honor God, each bringing a tribute from what they do. But this isn't just a test of their work, it's really a test of their hearts.
Now, this is a really critical detail the sources point out. Cain didn't bring his best stuff. He offered inferior produce. It's a small thing, but it reveals a heart that was already kind of closed off. This wasn't a real sacrifice. It was more like he was just going through the motions.
Abel, on the other hand, does the complete opposite. He brings the absolute best he has, the firstborn, the most valuable parts. This isn't just an offering, it's a huge act of respect. He's holding nothing back, and it shows his heart is open and totally devoted.
And the response? It's immediate, it's cinematic, and there is no mistaking it. A pillar of fire literally comes down from the heavens and just torches Abel's sacrifice. There's no ambiguity here. Abel's heart was seen, and his offering was accepted. Big time.
Meanwhile, Cain's offering just sits there, untouched. And in that one moment of public rejection, you can just imagine the humiliation twisting into this burning jealousy. He doesn't look at himself and ask, "What did I do wrong?" No, he looks at his brother's success, and that's when the rage really starts to build.
God sees this darkness taking hold and confronts him directly. And this, right here, is the absolute core of the story. It's a warning. Hey, you're at a crossroads. There is a predator, this sin, crouching at your door, and it wants to devour you. The choice to fight it, to master it, that's on you and you alone.
And this is the moment Cain fails that test. That internal battle is lost, and the conflict is about to explode from inside his soul out into the physical world.
The whole thing kicks off in the field. Cain's complaint sounds kind of petty, right? Sheep walking on his plowed land, but we know it's just an excuse. This is years of resentment finally boiling over into an accusation.
Abel's reply is so calm, so logical. He basically points out Cain's hypocrisy, like, dude, you're literally wearing clothes made from my sheep. But his righteousness, his refusal to back down, well, that just pours gasoline on the fire.
And that's it. That's the point of no return. Abel's words, even though they were true, were the final push. The last thread of Cain's control just snaps. The act itself is just so swift, brutal, and personal. Cain turns the very tool of his trade, the thing that connects him to the earth, into a weapon. And in 3 quick movements, history is made. The first human life is taken by another. As soon as the rage fades, the crushing weight of what he's done hits him. The sources are pretty clear about this. This wasn't some cold, calculated plan. It was a crime of passion. And for Cain, the immediate aftermath isn't victory. It's just shock and this deep, agonizing regret.
So, the crime is done, but the story is far from over. There's no hiding from this. Judgment is coming.
God's voice returns, but this time, it's not a warning, it's an accusation. The question, "What have you done?" isn't because God doesn't know. It's a call for Cain to confess. The crime is so unnatural that the very earth itself, stained with his brother's blood, is crying out for justice.
And the punishment? Well, it fits the crime perfectly. Cain, the man of the soil, is now cursed by the very ground he violated. It's going to fight him at every turn. He's going to be disconnected, a perpetual outsider. But then, in this really complex twist, he's also given a mark of protection, sparing him from the very cycle of revenge he just started.
So, in the aftermath of all this, the first family has to somehow endure this unthinkable tragedy. They have to find a way to move forward, to find life after the world's very first death.
Just think about that number, 28 years. For almost 3 decades, Adam and Eve lived with this crushing grief, losing one son to death and the other to exile. I mean, the silence in their home must have been absolutely deafening.
But then, a new beginning. Seth is born, and Adam's words are just filled with a sense of divine restoration. He's not a replacement for Abel, he's a continuation of the line. A sign that even after the deepest, darkest loss, life finds a way to renew itself. Hope is back.
And that brings us right back to the question at the heart of this ancient story. Cain was given a choice. He was warned that jealousy and pride and rage were like a predator waiting for him, and he chose to open the door. That same warning, it just echoes through time, doesn't it? The struggle between mastering our own inner darkness or being consumed by it, that isn't just Cain's story, it's the human story.